guys. For those that are probably listening to this, we will upload this on Shopify or Apple Music. Excuse us for the audio quality this time around. We're using what equipment that we have right now, so you are gonna hear the static in the background. We're literally shouting into two different mics right now, so obviously because of the Patreon members, we are gonna be upgrading the equipment over time. So you guys are gonna see starting next week, we're gonna get one new mic. So eventually everyone should have their own mics and their own cameras. So we'll definitely get that going and stuff.
In a different layout so that we can make sure it's a bit better.
And so, we'll all be present so the mics won't be in front of us. So it's okay. Like, as long as we always keep making the improvements every stream, that's all that matters. Okay. I'm just making sure you're okay. So he'll be able to get you perfectly when he edits. So person on camera too, make sure you edit Amy perfectly right here. She's the complete right side.
I'm a right unit.
Yeah. Like that. And then I think the way you guys are presenting, you can still see your faces, right? You can still see your faces. All right, perfect. Alrighty. And then we'll make sure we get 2 more cameras so we can get... Actually, no, if we do it right, only 2 cameras will be needed. Yeah. Because they'll be facing each group on each side. So that's going to be worse. So I like this, by the way. It's the management versus... the next gen.
Actually, the reason I wanted everyone to be facing is because I noticed when we were streaming that you two couldn't stop looking at each other and not the camera.
She was right behind me, so it's like I'm like, because you asked me a question, so I'm going to address it to you, but I'm like, oh wait, the mic's over here though. Actually, just quick thought. Actually, sorry for people listening to this. We could just set up this way, with like the couch, and then we're just good. Just bring the 2 couch arms over, and then. Just sit on the end, and we do it that way. That works for next time. But
That's all Ben.
But welcome to technically this will be the first official GH After Hours podcast, name pending, because I think we might end up renaming this and stuff. So the next series of episodes is going to be us obviously talking about topics that my team have organized and gathered themselves. We're going to be doing different things in the weeks to come, including like episode reactions, anime reactions, talking about the business and so forth, figuring out the format, and an additional also stream podcast as well too in development for the rest of the year. So we'll evolve as we go. Each week though, we'll make sure to make different improvements for everyone. So whether it's technical, visual, audio, we'll definitely kind of work on it for you guys. So I hope you guys are ready to embark on this journey for us. And obviously, if you have any feedback on your guys' end, please don't be afraid to reach out to us via Discord or message us directly and let us know your guys' thoughts and what you like or even dislike, and we can see what we can work on. Not catering per se, but
improving,
taking friendly advice, and we'll move forward.
I can already think of a few things I'd like to change. It involves the other 2 people in the room going into their office and closing the door, so I don't hear them. It sounded so mean, but I meant it for the quality.
Well, no. Actually, even for the quality, though, like, again, like, if we get the 4 mics, they're right next to you, we can lower the gain.
That's true.
He could be singing all he wants, it'll be fine. we can just be like, chat, you won't, it'll be like, chat, you won't hear this, but shut up. I can hear you, though. But actually, the best part is, if we also have our headsets
for monitoring.
So that we can clearly hear each other, the engineer can be like,
you mean the new Razer headsets? Promotion pending. No.
No, but
sponsor
all right.
us.
But with that said, though, this podcast is brought to you by G Fuel. G Fuel is sponsoring this podcast, definitely, as well as our Patreon members. Which you're going to need to give me a list so I can do proper shout outs for people. Do you not have that list?
That was once a month, not every podcast.
No, for every podcast they get credit. They get credits.
We'll record it later and add it onto.
It's okay. Thankfully, we have the Patreon app.
But I had to separate it, and some of them definitely say once a month, which is why I was very confused.
Oh, is it like different per tier?
Yeah, there's different tiers.
Oh no, I meant so that just like in YouTube, it's like, hey, thank you to our Patreon members, and they'll either be listed.
They'll be listed.
They're listed, and then you got the people who paid higher tiers, which I'll give them a shout out every episode.
You did that last time. Or you want to do it again?
Every episode they get
every episode? Yeah. Who gets every episode?
They get it.
We can work on that part after we film everything, because that could be like, you could do ASMR and be like, this podcast is brought to you by.
Oh, it doesn't show me all of them.
Right, that's what I tried. I cleared the ones out that we already did.
We will make sure the patrons all get properly vetted.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to properly
Sorry,
vet
guys,
everybody.
My team failed.
Oh, already?
There we go.
Jesus.
No. I see what you mean. So the app only shows you so much. There's actually 17 total patrons right now, though.
I got this. And that leads to our first episode, which is talking about the SAG after strike.
Strikes, yeah.
We're not
And
talking about the
WGA.
SAG after strike.
We are, and how
No, you know what I
actors
mean?
and actresses are forming a union.
We're not,
right, guys?
We won't talk about the strike.
There is no strike in Bossing.
There is no strike in Bossing Say.
No, but I thought it would be a good first podcast to determine. First of all, we want to talk about what this means to us, what this means to us as a small business, and how we support everyone out there who's going through it. What this means to us as content creators, and how we can go forward. And then some questions and comments, and how we feel personally about how this may affect us in our daily lives.
This doesn't affect us.
Oh, it doesn't affect you. It might affect me.
We're not involved with Hollywood whatsoever.
Voiceover work. I can't take voiceover work. I have to be very careful of the stuff that I wanted to start taking. I have to be very careful now with anything that I put out there through, like, I have an account on Fiverr and everything. I have to be very careful who picks up a contract, because while I can still do work, if I want to ever, like, I'm not saying I want to, but also, like, I have to be careful that I don't actually do something that crosses the picket line. It's the little things that we aren't nuanced in that we still have to be careful about.
Okay. I mean, the stance for the company is we're not going to get involved. I mean, in terms of, like, if they magically reach out to us, even with the money needs that we need, we're not taking it. We were never a movie review channel or movie publisher channel. We have a lot of friends who work in the industry that we're going to support. So it's just like, I'm flat out saying it right now. Even if they came in, it's like, we'll give you $1 million. It's like, that's great. I would cry saying no, but we're going to say no. Like, how we make money as a company is very important to me. And if my current partners and my employees feel otherwise, doors right there. Like, I'm not going to even argue with this on this one. It's like, it could be great for us. It's like, I understand, but we need to like, how you choose to make money and how you choose to operate as a company and stuff. Like, I'd rather this business fail, and, you know, rather than give up my morals and ethics and stuff, because we've all worked. Well, I don't know about you youngins. You've been with me this entire time, but, like, me and Amy have definitely worked for corporate overlords per se, not like overlords, but, like, we've worked for the hierarchy, and we know how it is to be mistreated and misused. And for me, like, I don't want to be adding to that. I don't want to be. No. So we're gonna do none of that there. So we're gonna, like, I hate, like, everyone keeps saying, like, stand in solidarity and stuff, but no, it's just true. Like, and even further, and I will let you guys know this right now. I've already started speaking with. I think Lloyd should do the follow-up call with you soon, by the way.
Thank you.
By the way, a lot of my stunt performer friends have come to realize, talk with Andrew, brainstorm with Andrew, inform Amy immediately afterwards.
That's everybody.
So that they can record it. So just know, any of you, if you want to get to know me, get to know my team first, because you'll talk with me. And if you don't follow up with my team, it becomes hearsay.
Yeah. I think my favorite part about, we just brought on an accountant. Her name is Mary Beth. She's lovely. And you were like, let me know if you need anything. And everybody in the room just went, let Amy know if you need anything.
let her know. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to adjust this really quick.
There's just a lot that goes into running a company, and Andrew's making the connections, and he can't be expected to make the connections, keep the connections, follow through with all the connections when they're for 2 different parts of the company, sometimes 3 to 4 different, to 6 different topics.
It's different if that's my full-time job, but it's like that on everything.
Yeah.
But the idea that we were getting at is, one way that we want to support the people who are on strike right now is, inadvertently, we create our own production house. What I mean by that is, no, we're not like a movie studio by any means or anything like that, but I actually want to start promoting the business even further, you know, not just, you know, with the skits and videos that we plan on doing and stuff, but, like, we have friends who literally, this is their jobs. It's like, because I talked to Lloyd, I was like, hey, what would it take to make a really epic 30-second, 60-second commercial for Gamers Heaven with, like, some, like, literally, like, actions, and we're fighting in the store, and, like, we actually planned out this awesome skit. Then I was like, how realistic is this? And he was like, if you can dedicate a few weeks to plan it out, 2 days for shooting, get everyone in there and stuff, like we can get it done. And I'm like, and then this, I was immediately thinking, it's like, if we're able to get a budget together, we can do this. Number one, we get an amazing product that we can use to promote the business. And two, we're now supporting people who are in direct need of, pay and income and stuff by giving them, and I even told him, like, I don't want any friend discounts. He was like, the friend discounts, me actually playing this out for you. I'm like, thank you. Not being charged for that.
I already have the idea. Do you remember the ninja stick figures? We just have Lloyd and Julia do that all over the store.
No, so the premise actually was going to be the battle of the trolls and Karens.
Oh, no.
God.
So they come in, it's going to be, let me speak to the manager, and I know...
that I'm the manager?
No, but there was a company, I forget, there's a Total Tech or something like that. There's I forget their name all of a sudden, but it's a British, like, company that always does the skits in the store, the tech store.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
So they did one with, let me speak to your manager, and the district manager comes in to save the day. So in here, it'll be like people coming in and complaining about the store, and you'll be fighting and stuff, but we're fighting with kindness.
Wherever will we get the content for people complaining at the store?
I know, right? But like it'll be, but the thing is, like the performers could be coming in, and it'd be legitimate fights going on in the store, and then just people are just gonna sit around, just like, and like it's an everyday occurrence at the shop, like normal. But then it'd be like, it's like, I don't want bubble. It's like kung fu style, like make them force feed the content and stuff, and then by the end, the ultimate Karen appears, and the manager goes Hokage mode, and then it's just like an epic fight. I don't know. We were just brainstorming, but either way, though, whether it's serious stuff like that, fun stuff like that, or even serious, like maybe we actually do want to visit the whole K-drama series and shoot it professionally. I think that'd be fucking epic. By the way, guys, this is we're gonna curse, so I don't care.
Frick.
No, but like actually, like, and someone was like, even like, I'm thinking like people joke about it. Korean drama, telenovela, and we can do like 2 versions of the same content. It's just like.
It's
like,
this. Oh my god! It's the same story, but it's 2 different ways of telling it.
It's like you come in. It's like, do you guys have any bubble right now? You told me you would have it yesterday.
Don't put your back to the camera.
No, it's like the whole like dramatic the forced perspective, because the thing is those daytime dramas are on such low budgets, so it's like it's all about the camera angles and
we have a rain
acting.
Scene. It's just Chris outside.
Oh no,
with
that's
a power washer.
no. My K drama thing. I was actually gonna, so the video that I'm posting, if I didn't have any help, I was gonna bring a hose that does the rain thing and be out there like be all sad that it's what's it called, the store's closed. So even to your point, I was gonna make that video already. And then and then just be out there just like sad and dying, and it's raining on me, but it's just like B-roll is going to be like me just spraying myself with the hose and be like, what's wrong with this dude? But either way, tangenting. But no, but like that's kind of what I was thinking. People were already approaching me on my DMs about like, hey, would you start utilizing AI generated stuff and AI content? And to be honest, that's not what I would. Don't worry about that. That's not the direction I would like to go. I would like to use it to maybe help generate ideas. But when it comes to actually implementing it, hire an artist, hire a writer, and hire people to actually do this. Because, again, how we make money and how we actually run business, it's very important. So, sorry, guys, our arcade vendor just came in, so he's turning on all the machines. So if you hear buzzing in the background, it is the Gachapon call machines activating. But
maybe for next week, maybe not on a Tuesday.
Or we start earlier.
Now they're all on.
Did we have planned topics around SAG and stuff too?
I mean, what I said was what we were going to talk about, but then
we tangent.
Oh, sorry. I did a massive
tangent.
tangent, but just as a company, I want to reiterate to you guys, like it's
but we wanted to talk about like how the things in the podcast, the things we weren't going to be talking about were, you said we're not movie reviewers, we're not doing all of this, but like in our field for the Game Lounge, certain movies are part of the community, but we're not going to be promoting them.
We have talked movies before.
Yeah.
We talk mostly anime, which I was watching Julia's TikTok videos about her stuff, and she was like, maybe don't go see the movie, but Tokyo Ghoul, Naruto, One Piece.
My Happy Marriage that just came out, and
they're
now
technically in the field of field of okay.
Yeah.
So we do sometimes, we'll discuss movies, so I think to Amy's point, she's saying going forward, that's something that
we're not going to be doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, we did talk about, we down the line, maybe we'll start doing things like that, but it's like, all right, we're just not. It's a very easy answer for us. Like, we're just not going to.
We just want to let the audience know that, too. Like, where our lines that we're standing with them, what we're going to talk about and not talk about. Because there's also certain things, now they've been talking about what you can cosplay and can't cosplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, SAG released, if you guys already know, they released a whole entire, like, influencer guideline things already, so I definitely recommend you go read that. Obviously, people should have waited to make videos until that stuff came out, but certain individuals didn't. We're not going to name names.
Loads of individuals
We're
did.
just going to leave it at that.
And then we just wanted to also talk about how, like, certain other film industries can't participate. In England, they're not allowed.
The international ones.
Yeah.
In the international world, in England, thanks to Margaret Thatcher, they are not allowed to participate in the strike that's going on in the United States.
That's what's going on with House of Dragon, I think. The next,
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of the British actors who were part of, like, the British version of the union. Hi, hello. So with House of Dragon special, even though it is being produced by an American studio, aka HBO, the British actors who are part of the British Union are contract obligated to continue to film and do their jobs over in the UK. But after that, after like that initial filming and everything, when it comes back to the studios and the producers, after that, there's probably going to be a stoppage of working. So we really don't know whether these shows are actually going to come out, even though there technically is filming going on right now.
So principal photography can be done, but any type of post work, VFX work, if it's within the United States, not happening.
Yeah. Anything within the United States. So that's why people should be very careful about the actors that they're saying that they're scabs and crossing the picket lines. If they're in the British Actors Guild, they can be kicked out for standing in solidarity based on their own laws, which is really messed up.
It is.
How would that, I don't know if anybody here knows, how would that affect somebody like Tom Holland? Because I know he is from the UK, but he does primarily work in the US.
He's a part of both guilds.
Yeah.
So as a part of both,
He can be kicked out of one if he stands in solidarity with the other.
But then also he can't do work with us?
If he is contracted under the British union, so like contracts are like the contracts are like written up by each of the unions and the union's reps. If he's under contract with the UK union, he's obligated to work. But from my understanding, he doesn't have a lot going on right now.
I thought he was taking a break.
Yeah, he's taking a break anyway,
I
so
have
he's fine. But
so much Andrew Butt in my face, and I didn't know.
We should remember our drinks for next time.
Yeah.
But
Sponsored by G Fuel. Andrew Butt, sponsored by G Fuel.
The stuff that's coming
I
up.
thought his butt was sponsored by Yoshi at this point because he kicked his butt into high gear with workouts.
last night's stream. Sorry, I won't get into last night's stream, but I'm not going to be a happy camper tomorrow. I haven't fully rested from that, so tomorrow's going to be the bad day.
now it doesn't mean that these actors can't do indie films. So if you are an up and coming like indie writer or director, and you have the budget, honestly, shoot your shot and like put a DM in like someone's Instagram and be like, hey, do you want to make a little indie film? We can pay you this much and see what happens. I mean, I feel like there's going to be like definitely there's going to be like a rise and a boom of like indie flicks coming out in the next couple of years.
So sorry.
That's what happened last time.
Yeah, well, so that's why I actually brought up what I did earlier. Not because I went to tangent, just talk. But no, it's because that's an area that we can consider. Because we had discussed as a company about like we want to get our media presence up. But one thing that we can do is if it's a longer path to try to develop the talent and the actors and stunt performers and all that stuff that we need in house, we already have friends in the industry who work it, and it's just like the clothing stuff, just like a lot of the other companies that you guys are going to start seeing us partner up with. There's no need for us to reinvent the wheel. We've already already said that we would become a hub for the industry, and also includes the film industry. And so, if we can become almost a facilitator for not just our own in-house productions, but like, I think it'd be awesome if like some like some like upcoming director wanted to do an indie film, but he wants to revolve around like the nerd culture. He's like, hey, can I just shoot my drama in the Gamers Heaven? I'm like, oh my god, please shoot like an office style drama in the game. He's like,
We did that. We did.
because if you watch K dramas, it's like consistently like 10 sets in the same room, same apartment, over and over and over and over again. And that's the drama. Same office all the time. That's where half the scenes happen. And then occasionally they're outdoors and stuff like that.
All the Friday Night Magic players in the background.
I think the only problem with us doing an office style thing of Gamers Heaven is that half of us are going to be like the gym types that stare directly into the camera whenever just something dumb happens.
No, that's what they do.
I know.
We're all
No, but like
Gen
all of
here.
us are going to do it.
No, I mean, but the
I
thing
just
is,
stared into the
what
camera.
I'm saying is
Yeah.
not. It doesn't have to necessarily be us though. It could literally be an up and coming writer that has a team of actors, but like they can't go through the studio houses or anything, but they still want to shoot something because they don't have a sound stage available.
Yeah.
So they need to do location shooting. We can become a natural location shoot where we actually offer incentives for coming into our store, and to do it and stuff. And,
It's ramen's the
Yeah.
incentive.
And then I would obviously, I want to start doing in-house too. So I wasn't joking about the whole K-drama thing earlier. Like I actually do want to start stepping up our videos. Like at the end of the day, like, they may not get the millions of views, but the people who watch it, they watch it. And we're actually making money off of that. Like people who are watching it repeatedly and everything. And so,
I don't watch K-drama.
Liar.
you liar.
The-
I remember, I think it's Boys Over
Flowers,
was the
Hana Yuri
first-
Dango.
Was the first
Yeah.
one I ever watched. I just found it on Netflix and I was like,
But do you
cute
realize?
boys?
But
Hold
do
on.
you realize? Do you realize how many iterations? First of all, you have Meteor Garden, which is the Taiwanese version. You have Hana Yori Dango, which is the Japanese version. There's F4, which is the Korean version, and now they have a new one that's the Chinese version. They're all the same but different. Yeah, no, they have.
You're
That's
real
all
excited.
live action. Like, you know what I
wait,
want to see?
Wait. Ladies and gentlemen, instead of movie reviews, we're going to do K-drama reviews.
I would be so okay with that.
We're gonna be every week. We're gonna be like, did you see last week's episode? Week later, did you see last week's episode?
As someone who's like a huge K-pop stan and like slowly becoming like very intrigued with the Korean culture, I have never watched a K-drama because I never had an excuse to. I know I'm a terrible person. I get it.
Yes.
I know, and I really need to because like I love like foreign TV and everything. Like I'm an anime fan and I'm like a sub watcher, so like I can totally do it. But like.
my videos not motivated you. The music really does everything. By the way,
Oh,
these
it's so
scenes.
good.
Like,
But
could you
this-
imagine these scenes without music? It's like,
So for the longest time, I remember Andrew would be like, Amy doesn't watch anime. You're right. Because I was watching K-dramas at that time. I would stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't put the But sometimes K-dramas piss me off because they have like, there's 24 episodes and then in the middle, everything goes completely different. It's a lot. But the whole point is, the last time there was a writer's strike, we came up with reality shows. Can we please just turn everything to anime and like K-dramas and all of that stuff? Because if I have to watch one more reality show that is like garbage, no, you don't get to talk. Love Island.
Oh,
No.
yeah, I was gonna say Love Island.
So I can tell you that another type of people who are affected by this strike are the content creators who are on like TikTok and Instagram, whose job is literally to review movies and everything. Like Straw Hat Goofy, for instance, like his job is to talk about the Hollywood industry, and now it's like, well, I can't talk about it. And a lot of these other creators are like, let's do an anime review instead. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
He said he could do older movies.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
he did say that, and he did say maybe he'll do anime. Does his brother do anime?
I didn't even know he had a brother.
so just a quick on the older movies. It's still promoting the strut companies.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
So
fair. Okay.
he actually has to be very careful with that.
I didn't realize that.
So like again, I don't want to talk about the creators in a negative sense at all. So we'll just like he's navigating his path right now and everything. But what these content creators need to realize, just like just like business owners, and we've been doing this 8 years now. Plug in the August
Yeah.
19th, 8-year
August
celebration. At the store, we're gonna have everything from not celebrity. Yeah, they're celebrities.
Yeah,
we're gonna have
basically,
celebrities and Itasha cars and
Isekai-kun.
And
isekai
cosplay.
and
Yeah.
cosplay.
Isekai-kun.
It's gonna be everything. But no, what these people have to realize is you can't be complacent. You have to learn to pivot and evolve and be able to be willing to change. A lot of the negative backlash that came out because of all this are people's refusal to change. And unfortunately, complacency is what's going to, like, you can be like, well, there are companies out there that have been around for hundreds of years and they've had the same one product. Yeah, it's called like basic necessities. A toilet paper company doesn't really need to change their toilet paper. Like,
Charmin.
like it's
Not sponsored.
but like, and when it comes to media, entertainment, and services, this industry is ever evolving, and just like content creation, you can't rely on your same old. Like, the amount of creators I speak to these days, they're just like, how are you still going? Because I'm always changing. I'm never afraid, and y'all experienced it. I'm never afraid to change our formula as much as it might piss some of you off.
I have to hear one more customer that comes in that goes, oh, everything changed since I last come in. If I take a shot, I'd be wasted.
I'm not gonna lie, Ben's freaking reaction the other week when I was like, I ordered gondolas, and he's like, it's fine, Amy.
No, yeah.
No, it's fine. No, your reaction when I was like, I ordered gondolas, and he immediately was like, do we have to move everything again? Like, it was just like...
That was your reaction?
That was his reaction.
It was more of a, like, it wasn't like up, like, yelling and stuff. It was more like the...
Oh, no,
and
you
Daddy
put your
fighting
stuff
again.
down. You put your stuff down and your hands went up,
I've
sir.
never seen him raise his voice.
Oh,
though.
he didn't raise
No,
his voice.
I raised my voice like that once.
But it was his body
Never
action.
again.
For those who don't know, Ben is so tame and kind. The one time he lost his goddamn marbles was because Amy suggested that he wouldn't be able to go to League of Legends Worlds in New York City.
Because I had already got my tickets at that point.
And Amy doesn't like to be yelled at, and Ben was up, like, on the table almost, like, ready to, like,
And, like, I requested
beat
I did
somebody.
everything right.
That's the only time I've ever seen Ben get truly angry, was the League of Legends of Worlds possibility that he wouldn't be able to go.
Sometimes you just have to push people's boundaries for funsies.
No, I had genuine fear with that one.
Okay, look, the fact that he was able to yell at me, I appreciate that.
Progress.
It was so progress.
But yeah, you're always changing, that's right. I've gotten to the point where when customers come in and go, oh, things have changed, I go, no, it hasn't.
Yeah,
It's
no,
always been
actually,
this
no, it
way.
hasn't.
Just start gaslighting them, and it's
Well,
always been this
my
way.
thing is this. We legitimately did not touch the store for almost a year and a half.
Because you were out, you're
Yeah,
gone.
I was gone. And I come back in and move one thing, and they're like, oh my God, you're changing again? I'm like, it's been like this for a year.
Not one thing. It's never one thing with you.
Yeah.
You're not really gaslighting them when you say it hasn't changed or something changed again. Yeah, because we're always changing. When you go into regular stores, they change their displays, they change their setups, they change their end caps. You don't go into a regular store and be like, oh, you changed again. Yeah, like every
Walking into
season,
Target.
every 2 weeks.
Oh my god,
Is it bad that I kind of want to leave it like this?
No, I actually do like it.
I like it like
Nice,
this. No, I'm not gonna lie, this is open again. Sorry, for those of you that are listening,
He's already thinking about changes.
yeah, because like I made myself a little
Oh, wow.
cubicle, but now that we've opened it, I'm like,
Space.
space.
For activities.
Yeah, but again, back to the content creator, your point there. They, and you already have creators who have already started thinking outside the box on what they can do different, and that's the way to go. Not be stuck in your moral. And the thing is, I get it. I like people. At the end of the day, I'm also not going to. Sorry, my contact just came loose. Oh God, no. Oh God.
Stop winking at me.
Ah.
Stop talking.
Oh my God.
We can cut this.
Ow. Ow.
Easy
Ow. Ow.
Get your finger out of your eye.
Ow. Ow. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Put some music.
Yeah.
Ow. Oh wow.
Gee, feels great here.
Live
This is
surgery.
the ASMR part where he's just screaming.
Don't go too close. The game's maxed out right now. What was I just saying?
Talking about creators.
Yes,
changing.
creators saying
flexible,
it.
yeah.
No, you already have people who are like quick to. The thing is, like, I'm also, and I think all of us, if anyone decides to go ahead and cross the picket line and do it, at the end of the day, I don't blame them. Like, the thing is, like, we will have our opinions about them. It's like, oh, how can you, betray? But it's like, someone brought up a good point on one video that I'm like, you know what, I can understand this too. Because if you are a person who had never had the opportunity in the first place before the strike, and then you had the opportunity after, even if it's a one-time thing that can help you through whatever hardships you're going through right now, you can't blame someone for taking the financial, like, the what they need at that time. Like, whether you look at it as gains or you're taking advantage, not everyone like what's it called? Like if that means life or death for someone, paying their rent, paying their freaking medical care for themselves or their children and stuff, like you don't know. And so don't be quick. Like when you see someone do it, don't be quick to eviscerate them. Obviously, like at this point, they should know what the repercussions of their actions are going to be. I'm going to be blacklisted from SAG. I'm never going to be able to work in this industry again. But if you can live with that, you make the decision to do it because that's going to help you pay for what you need to, and you were never going to be an actor in the first place, or you're going to give up on that because you're going to pivot to something else, then more power to you.
But own it.
But own it, yeah.
Right,
Don't
but own it.
don't try to backtrack.
Yeah.
Don't apologize for it. Be firm with your decision, and that's all I would say to those creators that decide to do it.
I mean, if I was approached by a huge company because I don't know, I put something out there like, hey, we want to use this sound clip, we'll pay you like $50,000. To a lot of people, $50,000 isn't going to be a lot. To me, $50,000 can get me a down payment on a house now.
I think you need to reverse that statement. To a lot of people,
to a lot of people,
Yeah,
$50,000.
To several people, that may not be a
Like,
lot, but it's a lot.
I can, and would I have to sit and really think about like where, but like we don't know where everyone's at. We don't know everyone's position. Like you may not know that like I'm coming up to move in 2 months, and in this area, the rental prices are extremely high.
Everywhere it is.
No, but
Or
like
especially
Especially-
Let's move to West Virginia.
Honestly, I'm ready to go to bumblefuck nowhere for these prices.
yeah, no, it's especially bad for where we live, and yeah, no, $50,000 would get me halfway to a down payment on it. Think about that: $50,000 in this area will get me halfway to a down payment.
Let's just move to even
Colin
Craig
deserves
places.
everything.
So part of my issue with today was I think I have almost not a hot take, because I almost didn't want to express my opinion on this because I
Go for
don't
it.
want it to be taken in the wrong type of way. I fully believe in
It's
unions.
okay. It's the internet. They're going to take it the wrong way. Just go for it.
Obviously somebody
Own it.
Somebody's going to have a problem with what I say no matter what. But I truly believe in unions. I think they're a fantastic thing. I think they need to be a thing. I need to preface this by saying I am uneducated in this topic. So I am no expert on unions or strikes or anything that's going on. But I want to know where the line's drawn, because when I hear those sound bites of no more cosplay, no more talking about movies, no more this, no more that, I think it's extreme in some ways. Until people do explain it to me. Once I do get explained the reasoning behind it, but I want to know where the line is. Is it the blue check marks aren't allowed to do these things, but somebody who is just starting out is, and it seems to an extreme. I do support people like Julia and Lloyd, and I understand that they need to stick that line, and when people cross that, that's a difficult conversation. But for somebody like me, who that's been my bread and butter, the people that are on TikTok right now doing the ooh
NPC.
spicy
So-
ooh
NPC.
spicy, like
So actually,
they're following that trend because it works, it's
Yeah.
making them money, and like you said, they do need it. But I also, it's being selfish in a way when you're taking that and creating that content. So there's that line of when you're a person that's doing cosplay, like the person that came over from Europe that didn't know, like when you're uneducated about these things, and then you have to make that choice, and sometimes you're making an uneducated choice, and then there's that cancel culture where the whole internet's like, ruin them, find their home, ruin them.
The easiest answer, you and I could both relate to this the best. Our advice for the younger people, oh my god, I'm gonna sound fucking like a boomer talk.
You're so old.
No, I'm not gonna be like, don't go buy Starbucks. No, I'm not that kind of shit. It's short-sightedness versus long-term.
Yeah.
Because your answers right now are like, well, I need this now.
Yeah.
I can get my foot in the door now. I can
Yeah.
get my followers now. But trust me when I say this, like, if you're willing to take that risk now, that means you are openly saying that you don't care about the long term in the future.
Right.
Because you start crossing, you can be like, well, I'm a no-name content creator.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think they have 600,000 union members?
They'll find you.
They're keeping an eye out to see who is crossing that line and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can be like, well, I feel like that's evil and stuff. It's like, you got to understand, like,
It's somebody
But-
else's job. It's that moment of selfishness where they're protecting themselves, but then you have the problem of the people that aren't in there that are trying to keep themselves up as well, and it's that battle. Like, I fully side with the people that are striking. The companies have way too much fucking money.
Oh, do you know what the companies have been doing?
It's percentages. Like,
The
give
companies,
the money up.
knowing that this week was going to be an all-time high, went and pruned the trees
God,
for the
yeah.
picket lines. That
Yeah.
Disney, and look, everyone loves the mouse.
Yeah.
But their last red carpet, they filled it with their characters.
Their characters, yeah.
And those people are not in the guild. They're under contract, which is why people are like, they're not crossing the picket line because they have to fulfill their current contract duties, which is what everyone has been saying. They walked the red carpet as like
Mickey and Minnie.
Mickey, Minnie, and yeah.
So the thing is, you need to understand too, is what, you say it's pennies. This is why even the smallest thing of not cosplaying a Marvel character or any of these movie characters, because anything that can be done to help them in their position of negotiations to get it done sooner. Because the thing is, you can be like, well, I'm a nobody, so I'm just going to cosplay as Black Widow and no one's going to care. It's like you're inadvertently promoting that movie because you're reminding someone of that movie and stuff to go watch it and stuff.
A question for, I guess, everybody. How I know there's no like real answer that you can tell me because you're not involved in those talks, but how long do you think this is going to go on for? Like, Halloween comes around, do you think we're going to still have this, and then you're not wearing Black Widow Halloween costumes, or you're not?
So actually,
I was going to say, it's already going to do damage. You're not seeing the damage now.
Yeah.
You're going to be seeing the damage in 2025.
Yeah.
That's when you're going to see the
Damage in terms of
the
what?
content, the movies,
Yeah.
the content that after the end of this year to like halfway through the next year, nothing is filmed. That is when you're going to start noticing why are these TV shows only 24 episodes? Why did my favorite TV show get canceled? What is going on?
So do you think that the big companies are going to change just like everyone else's and be like, fine, no more?
We don't.
Or...
So a little bit of insider information. I won't name sources. They're already prepared to have this go through 26.
They're just...
Damn.
So this is what blows my mind, though. If you're willing to take the brute force of that money loss of not having the shows coming out, pay the fucking actors.
So the thing
take
is,
that money.
here's their argument. They will take the $400 million loss so they can keep the $1 billion next year. Because the thing is, like an Avengers game, like Avengers, right? You're like, oh, $1 billion movie and stuff, right? Dad? The majority of the people that worked on that got pennies. Pennies. I won't name names, but someone we personally know got pennies. Sorry, they got $7
$7?
for their residual check for that movie going over $1 billion, while the executives pocketed
There's
400.
There's a couple of artists that have done this. The voice of Zuko, I've seen him. They'll have residual check openings. Is it steak dinner or is it like, hamburger helper night? And they fat stack of envelopes because what is his name? Dante Brasco?
Dante Basco, yeah.
Basco. I always get that wrong. He'll sit there and he opens this was like a couple years ago. Opened all his residual checks and he'll show you, and some of them were like $1.
Yeah.
Or less.
Because for those of you that don't know what happened, the streaming platforms is what's causing this. Because before, they got residual checks for every appearance of that movie or TV show on a TV broadcast station or whatsoever, because they paid for how many times that was being aired. Streaming, it is a license. It's a one-time fee that the studio checks only need to give it out one time. Netflix buys it for one price, and that's it.
In fact,
no more money given out.
HBO, their new app where they consolidated, it's actually, they moved it to Max because it's a different company. They no longer have to pay residuals for anything that is being streamed on there.
Yep. And so that's where it comes down to. And then but in terms of what's happening is these studios, you're like, oh, what's going to stop the studios from producing? They already have international production houses.
Yeah.
They're already going abroad. Why do you think Netflix in America has started seeing a huge influx of Japanese and Korean movies and TV dramas and stuff?
That was another question I was going to have.
Yeah.
Is that so? I get Castlevania was, it's an
It's
animated
US.
production
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Netflix, but that was U.S.
Yep.
So are they just gonna move
Most
it?
most
Yeah.
animation studios are in Korea right now.
Yeah.
Between the Asiatic countries, like right now, it's directed and produced in the United States. Created, all the animation work and stuff is done abroad. That's not union work. VFX work, VFX artists are not a part of the union. So unfortunately, they still gotta do their shit. Like they're still on their like liability and stuff. And all the international production houses, labor is cheaper, all the licensing is cheaper, and so you have more and more of these companies. Why do you think they're talking so big? Because they already did it. They already have all these sound stages across the country. Like think about even like simple things like Power Rangers, right? New Zealand. They shoot it all in New Zealand. It's non-union. I didn't realize it until I met with some of the Rangers. But it's like they're already doing a lot of non-union production houses across the seas and stuff, and they're offering big dollars to anyone that's willing to move and stuff and still work over there.
This might be a honestly controversial. Was it hot take? This might be a hot take, but I don't think so. I don't think things will change unless the American government steps in
That's
and
valid.
breaks
Yeah.
apart the large corporations.
I think that's probably an option that they might seek out too.
Not with the current state of things. I
Yeah.
mean,
The amount that you employ people, like these are jobs that are not going to be leaving the U.S. and people don't like that. So in that case, it's a possibility that they might step in and say keep things in house. But
I mean, ultimately, though, what you're going to see is what we're hoping. So, what the unions are hoping too is, it's the long term. Right now, it's short sighted. They still have a bunch of movies they already have in post production. They can get them out and stuff, but they're just like, once the long term hits, where there's no new content coming out, none of the faces that are well known are now coming out doing appearances stuff. All of a sudden, production, content. That means like the talk show hosts, the interviews that happened, all the promotional content. These studios are starting to get less and less and less, so they're going to be diversifying. So, I'll put it this way: why do you think all of a sudden all these corporations started buying the anime studios? They knew this was coming.
yeah.
They're already starting to diversify their portfolios.
don't touch my anime, you assholes.
But the thing is, that's where it's gonna, you're gonna start seeing it. So it's gonna be unfortunately a war of attrition between the two.
So does this affect the dubs then too? Because most of them, I'm guessing, are based in the U.S.
That I don't know.
So a lot of the voice actors right now aren't part of certain guilds, or if they are a part of the guild, it does affect them. They'll have to finish out their current contracts. But that's why when you say you got to be careful, I mentioned earlier, I have to be careful and look at who is purchasing anything that I'm starting to do, because if it does affect those voice actors, they're going to get people who don't realize, especially if you're on certain sites like Fiverr and what's that other one? I forget. But if you're on those sites and you're just doing work, you have to be careful who is purchasing your stuff, because you never know. Here, read this script. Oh, this is great. Read this script. All of a sudden, you inadvertently did work for a company and you didn't even know you were doing it. That's a scary thought.
I'm trying to think here. Actually, so the reason why those would be okay, by the way, is because Crunchyroll and Viz Media, they're not a part of that conglomerate group.
Gotcha.
So they're
But
they're not.
doesn't Crunchyroll have a U.S. base? But is it?
Yeah, but they're not a part of they're not a struck company. They're not part of
Yeah.
that Motion Pictures of America union.
So the ones that are in it are.
They're the ones that they're striking
They're
against.
the Netflix, the HBO,
Yep.
Like,
the Disney.
the production,
SAG
yeah.
AFTRA is, I think it's primarily focused on like live action. There's some anime. There's like some animation.
No, this does
representations, but it
affect all the
does-
Disney animations and stuff too.
Yeah.
God, I'm sick of those live actions.
Yeah.
I'm tired of
No,
them.
I mean the animations and
Oh,
stuff.
the
But
animation.
yeah, like
So-
a lot
Disney.
of
Netflix animated series, Hulu animated series. So like even things like what's the one with Omni Man?
Invincible.
Yeah, so that's a part of it. That's all. Those
I
are
was
all
looking
affected,
forward
but Crunchyroll is not a part of that. So Funimation and Crunchyroll aren't a part of it. Viz Media, but the thing is, Crunchyroll, no, who bought? Viz Media is now owned by AMC, so that now becomes.
Everything's owned by BlackRock and Vanguard.
Yeah.
But we'll see kind of where it all
So,
goes and stuff.
Wait, AMC bought Viz Media.
They bought a big portion of it, I believe.
Does
So,
that-
actually? Hold on, let's let the internet verify
So
really
wait,
quick.
Crunchyroll purchased.
Sony owns Crunchyroll.
Oh, Sony owns Crunchyroll. But didn't Crunchyroll just take over Funimation?
Yeah.
So is this an issue of if you get to the bigger picture, everything's controlled by them?
There's a guy who does. This is wildly off topic, but there's a guy
The
on
shampoo
TikTok
guy?
who goes through the grocery,
grocery-
aisles
I love him.
and shows you who's
Yeah.
small time and who owns
Who owns
who's owned by
everything.
BlackRock.
Yeah, this is like basically what I studied in college. Everything is owned by like
7.
it's like it's there's like the 9 like companies that own basically like everything, and then you go from the bottom and you work your way up, and then the problem is though is that in recent years these bigger companies like Disney and Sony and NBC Universal have all started buying what we thought were huge companies and just sucking them up like a leech into one giant mega corporate media monster.
So
I
then,
stand corrected. This has not been sold off yet. So never mind.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so then I have the question of, is this going to turn into like, you know how when you read things and it's like, don't drink soda because it's bad for you, but then somebody comes out with an article and it's like, drink soda, it's good for your heart, and then somebody comes out with another article like, soda will kill you in 2 days. You know, that kind of thing? Or it's like there's something wrong with everything at some point. Like everyone eventually says there's something wrong with everything.
It's diet soda.
Is it the
It's why are you drinking diet soda? It has aspartame in it, and
Exactly.
aspartame's a
Artificial.
carcinogen. It's going to kill you.
So-
Stepping off of a street in front of a bus is going to kill me.
if you get deep enough into this whole issue, is it going to turn into that where it's like this company owns this company and that company did this to this and that, so you shouldn't watch them? Like, is it?
It could turn.
Am I
going
going
to
to be able to not watch anything at this point?
But no, it's kind of going down to it. Is it worth it to you? Because you have people who are like, so like, you know, you have the animal rights activists.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I-
Do you know what happened to like for you to
Right.
enjoy that drink?
Right.
Even though I think the most recent, like again, I have nothing against vegetarians or vegans, or
Pescatarians.
pescatarians.
Yeah.
But it was just like someone's like, do you eat avocados? Do you know what you know the child
Yes,
labor,
that kind of
child
stuff.
slave labor
Yeah.
goes to the avocados, right?
Right.
It all kind of goes into it. At the end of the day, it is a free market. You are allowed to consume whatever you can consume. But it
It
again,
doesn't feel like it at this point.
So fear mongering. It
Right.
goes
Fear-mongering,
back to
yeah.
straws.
Right.
This is the best analogy that
Oh my
you're going to
God,
get.
yeah.
Straws. That picture of the turtle with the straw up its nose,
Yeah.
and now everybody's like, "Let's go." It didn't change almost anything. What really needs to happen is the government needs to step in, break down the mega corporations, tax everybody appropriately. But until the current state of the government it turns over to a younger generation, we're going to have 90-year-olds who are like,
so
but
actually, hold on. I don't want to talk politics. We shouldn't be talking
Oh,
politics
yeah.
on our thing. Because the thing is, there's actually arguments against that as well too.
about the 90-year-old who's running.
No, but no, in terms of like government stepping in to break down the companies, the monopolies essentially. They're not quite monopolies yet because it's got to be 1 or 2 companies that own everything. It's not 1 or 2 companies.
Yet.
It feels-
Is
No, I understand, but it's like, so people listening and stuff, guys, like, you know, we have a diverse group of individuals that, you know, that are working the store. We don't mean to get political and stuff, but it's a mixture of everything from legislation to, because the thing is, the companies, they're going to be greedy. They're going to want to
Oh,
get
yeah.
everything they want to get and stuff. So it's either, aka one, the consumer market and the labor market literally force them to be like, you're going to be losing more and more money each year the longer you stretch this out, and everything. You can be like, well, we're going to make content internationally, which I brought up earlier, but we'll see how far that goes and stuff. That's a big risk on their part as well. Or yes, government steps in to break it apart, but unfortunately, there's way too much money.
Or Ron Perlman's going to burn down your house.
yeah.
I love that man.
I'm sorry.
That was hilarious.
Oh, I love that. Oh my god, I love this. I
Yeah.
love this take on. People were just like, I don't know about who these executives are, but like, I would not want to be the person on Ron Perlman's. Like, did you hear about what he actually did to Harvey Weinstein?
No.
Yes.
Would-
yes.
So,
yes.
so for those of you that
Hold
don't
that
know,
thought. Hold that thought.
oh, sorry.
So, no.
Just hold on. Just until the water's done running. That's going to drown that out.
Oh no, it's okay. You usually this. Cool. Okay, so no, what Ron Perlman did to Harvey Weinstein was like, long story short, he was forced to have to meet him to shake his hand. So he was like, because of what Weinstein did to Perlman, he was like, all right, MF, all right, motherfucker. So he was like, I'm gonna have to shake your hand if I come to this event, because he was like, who are you to call me, blah blah blah. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna go shake his hand. He pissed on his hand, and then shook Harvey Weinstein's hand in public with piss on his hand.
Oh.
And I'm just like, so if he was willing to go to that length, don't question him.
Yeah.
But to reiterate what Andrew said, that honestly though, it would be healthier for the economy and everything if they figure this out on their own.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like we really don't want to add the government into this and everything.
I like capitalism at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, like.
Well, actually, so to your point,
Yeah.
It's not a perfect solution, but what individuals, content creators, and the people who are on strike now can do is start to, obviously not just hold them accountable, but they can start doing their own thing. This is the time where it is, I don't want to say the golden age, but this is their perfect opportunity to start utilizing their own talents, to start making their own content. And you're starting to see it right now, especially in the anime community, with all these creators teaming up with VFX artists and actors to make some really awesome live action.
Is the guy that you met him, King Chris or something?
He just released this awesome epic Madara fight.
His fights are so cool.
Yeah.
It's so exciting to watch.
But all of a sudden, these influencers who can now start teaming up with people in the industry to all of a sudden a shift could happen. And to be honest, it should, because it gives more creativity, gives more unique content that people can start consuming and stuff. And all of a sudden, the shift starts going away from these production studios and stuff to these other content creators who are doing things.
Or the new production studios that start happening that understand that we need to pay people and not pay people $150 for their AI forever. That's it. $150. They scan your body. You'll be a background forever. That's not.
Yeah.
They're doing, as a company, they're doing everything they can to squeeze as much profit as possible. So, at the expense of labor. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's capitalism. For anyone that wants to defend capitalism, it's always going to be that.
It kind of reminds me of our conversation where we talked about anime conventions and how those bigger companies are coming in with these fancy booths, and we can't bring our product because the person that's selling the product is right there, and they're gonna just keep moving us down the line and keep doing it in-house. And
they're going to go even harder at Comic-Cons. All the Comic-Cons are going to go harder and harder on bringing Marvel and these others, Paramount. They're all going to be there because at the end of the day, they need the money.
Oh, so KatsuCon usually does a huge Marvel photo shoot meetup. It's huge. Takes up three levels of a staircase.
To be honest, it's going to be interesting to see how the conventions respond.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to New York Comic Con.
But we are going to Rhode Island Anime Convention. It's the first year. Promote it.
Yeah. It's going to be a long 2 weeks. But either way, I mean, by the way, was that the main topic that was going to be for this episode?
That was.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone just needs to be careful about what they're doing and read all of the stuff to make sure that
you have to make your own decisions, though, to an extent, because you don't want to.
Yeah.
You can be an extremist if you want to be an extremist about things, but you also have to be able to have self-preservation in the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I would just say to do your own research, read up on everything, educate yourself, and make your own decision. Make your own decision.
If you're gonna do it, just do it. Yeah. Don't backtrack. Don't apologize for it. If you're gonna do it, know what you're doing and just own it.
Don't play
Accept
a ukulele
the consequences
and say sorry.
of what you're doing.
Yes. Absolutely.
Here's my one political take I'll get. I'm so tired of all these politicians taking certain positions, voting a certain way, and then backpedaling the shit out of it afterwards and lying about their voting rights and stuff. Just own it.
I think half your battle is that you believe so hard in transparency, because everything with this company is about transparency.
Yeah.
That if you're going to do something, you're going to do it, and you're going to sit there and say, I did this. You're not going to say, I didn't do this.
That's actually super valid. Like that's what pisses, I think, most people off. Like, if you're gonna do something, if you're gonna do it, just do it. Don't sit there and lie. I hate lying. If you're just gonna be like, Amy, I'm not coming in for my shift because I am gonna go on a date today.
Don't project.
Wait, sorry. No, I wanted to do that for him for later. Just be like, look, you're in the podcast. But seriously, I can't come in today. I've got other things to do. Don't make promises you can't keep.
Right.
Or let me know ahead of time you can't do things. I'm sick. I don't need to know where you're going. Just be like, I cannot do it. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, accept what you're doing.
Yeah. That's half the battle.
Yeah. And then for us, if we're going to, like, for us, if we're going to support the cause, then we're going to do it. We're going to follow through on it. And if we happen to break it, own it. Why did we break it? Wasn't it an accident? Like, did we not know what we were doing?
You have to tell me your reasons, but also you have to be okay with the back. Like, I don't want somebody to be like, I did this, and then everyone's like, you're an asshole for doing that. And then you're like, but no, I'm not.
First of all, I was an asshole before I did that. You just didn't know me that well.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be like, it's just like, we deserve it. If we make a mistake and we get backlash, we deserve it.
Yes.
Because
to an extent, you have to also be like, to an extent, don't invest into cancel culture. Like, if somebody makes a mistake and they own their mistake, I don't send people to their house. Don't send a SWAT team. Don't do that shit.
No Pinkerton.
Like, stop doing that shit.
Yeah, no, it's
ridiculous.
I hate the
It's
people
scary.
who do it and their apologies super disingenuous.
Yeah.
Like, if you did it, own it, and just move on from there. Like, just cater to the crowd that liked what you did. But if you did it by accident, number one, take the punishment. You can be like, well, it's not fair. It's not. You still did it. If you made a video or you did something or it slipped, you were obviously not thinking at the time, or you didn't bother doing the research. You didn't let emotions calm down, or you didn't let things happen. It's just like, that's your fault then. Own it when it happens. But then take the necessary steps to move on from there, because and that's how you earn your community's trust back. It's the people who are disingenuous with their apologies and then they continue that behavior that are the ones that are truly the trash people in this industry. Like, if you're going to be trash, then be branded as trash. Don't try to be like this bipolar individual. But if you did it by accident, own it, take the necessary steps like we've been doing the last few years. Like, I know I haven't been the perfect boss with you guys in terms of everything that's going on, but I've been pretty fucking transparent with what we've been trying to do. And, like, by the way, also things, if worst case scenario, if things don't go the way they hope, here's what we're going to do. You're not going to be able to fucking do that. Well, we're going to have to figure it out. Yeah. Like, it's like, that's what's going to be. And
I like always having a choice, which is what I like about the transparency in this place, is because when you tell me, at least I have the option to leave that door if I know that I can't handle whatever's going to happen next. Like, that's all I ask, is being able to have that choice.
Except on Sundays before your shift is over, the option to fill up the water in those containers is not an option, which you must do for you. Leave me.
You know what I mean? I accept that I made that mistake. I accept the consequences.
Are you going to take actions to prevent it from happening in the future? Otherwise, you're just lying. But no, it's, and to my team, you guys have every right to unionize if you guys ever feel like you need to. My job, if I want to be a good company, is that you should never be in a position where you feel like you guys need to.
Right.
Yeah.
I've worked for big corporations.
Yeah.
Like, I was a waitress most of my life.
Yeah.
But so I worked for Cracker Barrel and stuff like that, which, to put it bluntly, they don't care.
Yeah. Actually, oh my God, this is my TikTok clip. If you're a company that says you care about your employees and your customers, then you should never be afraid of unions, because they should never ever have the need to form one if you're truly taking care of them. Yeah. But if they're literally talking about having to unionize and do things, that means you're doing either something wrong or you're being one greedy motherfucker. Period. If your employees are truly happy in their workplace, they're being compensated fairly for their work, right? And they're just happy to be there. They're in this stuff too. There should be no. That's it. Like, they're just happy. The only reason why a lot of people have to unionize and stuff is because they're not being paid for what their fair wages and stuff. They're not able to make a comfortable living. It's one thing, in my situation with my team, it'd be one thing if they're getting paid the way they are at, with the reduction of hours and cutting, and I'm making 10 times the amount than they are. That'd be something like they should be legitimately pissed about.
I'd scratch the car.
But we're making the same amount. We're all going through the same struggles right now. And so that's the one thing, like, you know, I'm standing in solidarity with my team.
And I think it also needs to be said, too, it goes back to a few months ago when you were really struggling deciding on if you were going to go to, like, an influencer party as well, and we were all sitting here yelling at you.
Yeah.
Like, when you see things as well, if you post something and you're at a party and, like, somebody brings up this clip and is like, oh, but he said he doesn't do that stuff, he's struggling too. We are backing you. Every decision that we make, we back you with when you want to do these things. So if it looks like you're living the luxury life, we all know you're not. We all know that we all
They know my life
we
is
all shop at
trash.
Aldi and Costco just the same. Like,
We enjoy the same Costco hot dog, baby. No,
I do like that hot dog. And I
It's
don't
a
like
dollar.
by the
50
way,
still
if we
too.
ever need to live the extreme lifestyle, the Costco, we just have our lunch and dinner parties at Costco.
Amy's brought me in a nice little mac and cheese tray from Costco. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's great.
It saves you.
it does.
But that $60 a year goes a long way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I will state though that if you guys feel you need to form a union to be able to wear non-cargo shorts, we're not.
We're not
I will
wearing
not
cargo
come
shorts.
to that table.
We're not wearing cargo
I'm
shorts.
only
here.
wearing it on days where I'm just
Yo,
like,
what's
coming
wrong with
in and
cargo
wearing
shorts?
We're not wearing
Non-cargo
cargo
shorts.
Non-cargo
Non-cargo.
shorts. Like,
We're pro cargo here.
We're
Okay, Ben, I
pro-cargo.
know
Hold
when I
on.
first
Hot
started the
take,
company,
no
the first like
cargo.
3 years,
Yeah.
I wore nothing but basketball shorts.
I know
But
you did, yes.
He's not working today, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
I went from working corporate America to freedom, so
He's not behind the counter.
If I have
as
to
they
wear
say.
those Cracker Barrel khakis again, I'll murder somebody. I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
I'm not. Yeah.
I'll unionize to prevent those
Oh.
khakis.
Ben and Emily picked up to two things that they're not supposed to wear on shift: sweaters, because Emily likes to go in the kitchen with those, and she's like, "I'm hot." I'm like, "Take your sweater off."
you know what it is? I'm gonna force this. I'm gonna force all these clothes on you, but I'm gonna pay you double. Okay.
We can negotiate. We can
It's like
negotiate.
we can negotiate. It's like you're gonna force this. You're at least gonna give me the clothes. Done. Shit. like you're like I'm not gonna pay for the clothes. That's fine. We're gonna pay for you. It's like you didn't set the bar high enough. Don't make the mistake. By the way, that's what unions are typically do is when you have individuals who don't know how to negotiate on their behalf. The union is there to step in to help protect those workers from themselves, essentially, from taking too little. So, but again, if a company is set where there's defined lines and roles, and people are, even if you're a cashier or a line cook, but you're living the life, like that's more, that's fair. Now there can be people like, oh, you're not going to motivate the manager to work harder if they're only making X amount of dollars more than, so and so person and stuff.
You would be surprised how you can motivate Chris. Okay, you let him
Paying him on time.
Listen to his music. You just let him listen to his music. You
Yeah.
know, you give him a little bit of extra spicy food. Chris is very much motivated by, you're like a little bit, couple extra days of vacation.
Nothing. We're just talking shit on my employer. No, we're
I think that's to an extent, though. I think we are in a unique position where everybody that's working here. If you're a line cook working here, like once we get the restaurant, you're also still working at like an anime place. And usually people, when I
Oh, I
like
hate
the
that.
people that worked at Cracker Barrel, like you're gonna get a 1 in a million. That's like my dream is to be a line cook at Cracker Barrel.
No, you need
1 in a million.
No, it's you
So-
gotta love what you do.
Right.
But the thing is, you can't love what you do if you're not being.
respecting.
I don't
there,
love
yeah.
going into the kitchen. I do love working here. So it's a matter of being able to get what you need out of your job.
willing to make?
So
Please tell everybody that working at the game store is actual work, and you
Yeah.
guys
Oh my
hate
God,
me
yeah.
sometimes.
Oh,
where
no.
I give you lists.
Oh yeah.
I
it's a real job. It's like it's not a fun like we're working at Chuck E. Cheese getting to play in the playground all day. It's not.
Oh yeah,
it's not that.
this is a job. Like it's cool that we have the anime and the games and everything. And did I spend most of my paycheck back on the store buying Magic cards? Probably, but it's still a job. Like you still have to get up and do your job, but the reward is also
We work here.
yeah.
It's not just playing D&D all day.
No,
It's cleaning the bathrooms.
It's cleaning up
Yes.
the D&D room. It's
it's changing the water out for the ramen and
Yeah, I saw on TikTok, like I think yesterday, I saw somebody is like it's like a new Stitch thing where someone is like, Stitch us and like talk about like the deepest, darkest secrets of like the field you work in. And you want to know the deepest, darkest secrets of like the nerd community? A lot of the people that do it aren't a fan of like everything in the world. Like,
It's someone telling me about their Magic deck, and it's
Yeah.
their red deck has got vampires. Man, I don't play Magic.
Yeah.
I had somebody do
No.
that
I have
literally.
no
they're
idea what you're talking
vampires.
about.
So
sorry.
yeah.
It's not
No,
you
like-
usually I can tell you to stop. I'm like, I've had enough.
If you actually want to know the deep, dark secret of the industry, and you guys are learning this the hard way, a lot of people actually aren't paid.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you want to talk about the next industry to be hit? It's going to be the gaming and anime industry.
Oh yeah.
All these game shops, LAN centers, these companies who are starting and willingly taking volunteer hours. And we're not, and the thing is, we'll be the first ones to admit, did we accept volunteer hours in the beginning? Yes, we did. When we weren't supposed to. We are a for-profit business. No one is supposed to be volunteering unless you're an owner of the company. Period. And, you know, we got called out for it. I don't do it ever again. Because, you know what, I thought it was people genuinely helping out. But there are companies and stores out there that are actually exploiting people's wanting to be a part of this industry to the point where they will work for free. They'll volunteer. And they would actually work for years and they get nothing out of it. And the thing is, like, I won't name, but there are stores out there who are taking advantage of customers. Be like, oh, could you help organize these cards for me and stuff? And I'll give you like a pack on the house for helping me out. They just did hours of labor for free for the store and stuff. And, you know, people can accuse us all we want, but, you know, check yourself before you wreck yourself on this. But the thing is, people are becoming more and more awake to this. People in the anime and gaming industry, these channels that are popping up, people are doing these podcasts and stuff. Make sure, you know, if people are helping out, you're either giving them fair compensation. Well, I'm not making any money myself. That's fine. As long as everyone knows that situation. And when you do start making money, not hoarding it, but sharing it to the very people that, you know, help you get there. Because a lot of channels, YouTube channels back in the day, you know, there, I'm not going to name channels and stuff, but there was this particular channel that I followed, a couple of them where it was all grassroots. They finally made it. You know, they got up there, they started making a lot of money. Oh, we never had a contract.
All of them have access to Streamlabs because we use that, and then we can see the payouts. We know. we have access to the reports of the register.
Yeah.
And also hopping off on that, I know like maybe like a month ago there's like this big controversy where there's like this one guy who made like really popular like Yu-Gi-Oh videos on YouTube was just like either paying very little or just straight up not paying his editor.
Yep.
And like there's a huge controversy in like the creator scene about that. Yeah.
Hey, your editor.
I'm all about paying for people for their work, and I know I always say that with a grain of salt because I'm always like, but my staff can literally come to me and say, you're not paying us what we are. That was like, and I'm always guilty, like I always feel guilty just because I want to be paying everyone more and stuff. I always do, and she already knows it. As much as her and I will fight back and forth about it, I'm always fighting for. You know, at the end of the day, I hold Darius and Amy above you guys just because we've been together for over almost 8 years now. Well, Darius 8 years, her 7. But it's just like no matter what kind of arguments we'll get into and stuff, I'm always fighting because I recognize the work that they put in, the sacrifice they put into this company. It's the people who forget where they come from are the ones that will eventually. Karma is going to be a bitch to you guys later in the future. Especially, I'm not going to get petty with the other stores around, but it's okay.
We can cut that.
But no, other than that, is there anything else before we call it for this episode here?
No, I think that's.
We're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So again, guys, for the Patreon members, again, my team is working on it.
Let's just wait. Just wait.
They're working.
Keep going. It's got setting the timer. For
I know,
Boba.
yeah. I'm just making the beep noise because it's fun.
All right, I think that's the end of our podcast.
Yeah. No, guys, obviously tune in next week. We have some new pieces of equipment that's going to be coming in throughout this week.
New setup.
We'll get this set up straightened out a little bit more. Like, again, every time I give the team notes, every week they act upon it and they forget about other things. So it's going to be, it's the Doc Matrix printer. It's like, it's doing this and then it's like, hey, I give you this. Okay, cool. And like, what about this half the image? It's like,
Not
oh.
halfway there.
No, we have things to do with the cameras, the audio side, the mic. There's just more things I got to pick up, so I'll figure that out. But next week, I think we have a better direction of what we want to do.
So you said we're putting this out on Shopify? What's
Spotify.
SoundCloud?
I don't know. I don't know the
It'll be
things.
somewhere.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Wherever
that's
you're
what I always
listening
say.
this on, guys,
Spotify,
Spotify.
let us know, and then we'll take it from there.
We got this.
Final thing, we support the people that are currently striking.
Yeah.
We support the
Writers,
creators,
the
the writers, the actors.
Yeah.
Just please stay educated and stay up to date on things.
And just so you know, if you guys are considering investing, one of the marketing budgets I'm going to be dedicating to instead of doing conventions is actually doing the media production. So actually start upping up our production quality, not for every video. We're not millionaires here, but like once in a while, do something like really cool with some of the content creator friends that we have who are performers who can come in and really just step up. I think it would just be fun. But then we have to be smart about it as a business. If those videos do well and they make money, and that's an incentive for us to keep continuing that and to keep paying and stuff. But if it doesn't do well, then I gotta rethink my strategy, obviously. So, we're not gonna be stupid about it. We're not just giving out money and
Just
stuff.
like this is a job. We're here to have fun, but we also still need to stay alive and
Yeah,
eat.
we gotta.
Make
We
money.
all can't.
We need to make the money.
We need money.
We need money.
We can't all share at Costco mac and cheese forever.
We need money.
So you don't want me to pick?
I would actually love a Costco mac and cheese next
I
time you
would
go.
love a chicken bacon.
Costco sponsor us.